Hello YouTube, and welcome to part 16 of our Realism Overhaul series. Last time we finished up by getting set up on the launch pad for Moonfinder, and at this point I think we're go for launch, so I'll throttle up and here we go.
Does not like that tower. Go ahead and pitch over a little bit early to counteract the fact that we're heading west. And our inclination is going up, so try to adjust that. I don't want to pitch over too fast. Oh boy. This has not been the most stable launch, but hasn't died yet, so we'll stick with it. I think pretty soon I'm just going to switch to orbital prograde. Actually, my apoapsis is really high. I'm just going to go horizontal velocity plus. I don't think you'd really ever see a rocket turn that fast, but normally you'd have a computer that's managing all this. Alright, second stage, here we go. Now we'll ride this out for 3.5 minutes. Should probably go ahead and extend our antenna. Now the only thing I don't like about this engine is it only has one ignition. So if it dies, we can't restart it. But because of that reason, I think I also designed this not to let this engine get us into orbit. We'll still be suborbital flight whenever this guy burns out. And then we'll use the AJ-10 to just kind of bump us up into a good orbit. And then we'll try to set ourselves up for a lunar injection. I think we'll do that with 2 burns. First burn, we'll use the rest of the fuel for this AJ-10. And then we'll coast up to apogee and slow down a little bit to be at a suborbital trajectory again. And then we'll drop this piece off, and then it'll come back and burn up. And then when we're at perigee again, we'll use the remaining stage to finish our orbital injection. Which means that we're gonna kind of want to set our on the map. We're gonna want our orbit to be kind of ahead of where we would normally do it, because we're gonna have to come back again and finish it up, and by then the moon will have progressed a little bit farther in its orbit. So we'll see how this works out. At this point, I'm just going to say orbital prograde. Just trying to get my time to apoapsis the same as my burnout time. But if I fall back a little bit, it's no big deal. The lower we are, the more we're taking advantage of the overearth effect, so that's good. Well, I start pitching up a little bit now. I'm actually going to just say, whoop, zero these out. I want my pitch to be 10 degrees up. Alright, fire up the AJ-10. If I should pitch up a little bit more. I don't mind getting low, but I don't want to go back into the atmosphere. There's a moonrise right there. I'm thinking it might not be horrible to go ahead and just burn out this AJ-10 right now. Let's look at the map. So you usually want to burn whenever you're straight out here, and then you'll intercept up here. I want to really have it out a little bit farther though, since I'm gonna get rid of the stage. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep this up. I do need this to climb again, so I'm going to maintain my pitch up. Don't really want to skim the atmosphere. Hoping this starts climbing faster. Perigee is above 120, 125 kilometers, 130, so even if we do skim through the atmosphere, it shouldn't be horrible. This is getting really close to 140, and we're almost at 140. If this hits, yeah, I'm going to go orbital prograde. We're good. We're not going to go through it. That was close, though. Apogee's there. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and burn for the rest of the time for this AJ-10. We'll probably finagle our orbit anyways later, so I think this is close enough. It's nice that this is so low, it'll be really easy to deorbit this guy. Alright, burnout. .3 degrees off, that's not horrible. We could probably adjust that later if we wanted to, but first thing is we want to ditch this AJ10 stage, and we're going to do that over here. So go ahead and warp over there. Alright, that's close enough. A minute away. Alright, I'm going to have to readjust these because I need these engines to fire. And I want to be pointing retrograde. I'll go ahead and toggle this stage. And we'll burn retrograde a little bit. Probably drop this down to under 100. Yeah, that's good. 88. Now I'll point prograde. And I'll turn off RCS, conserve our fuel. And then once we're prograde, I'll just pop this guy off. Should just be this next stage. Actually should bump our periapsis up just a little bit, the force from this guy. Did. Lock in prograde. Just bump our orbit up again. There we go. And now let's set up our maneuver. This is going to be our lunar injection burn. So center on the Earth. I just want to focus on the Earth, not any satellites around it. There we go. And I'll start by adding a maneuver node here at periapsis. It's so nice to have maneuver nodes now. And you can see we're off. Let's turn this down. Ooh, we had some encounters there. It's pretty close. There's one. If we focus on the moon, can actually fine-tune that encounter. It's actually pretty close. Let's get our maneuver node editor out. We don't need this anymore. Maneuver node editor, and we can fine-tune this node. Oh, this is really sensitive. Maybe 0.1? Yeah. Now I'm thinking it'd be good to come over the top and get into a polar orbit. So right now things are really sensitive, so I think I'm just going to leave this as it is. I wonder if it's worth shifting it so we actually hit an apogee. We could just burn a little bit later. See what happens if we burned 10 seconds later. Actually here, I wonder, what if we just told it to make a maneuver node for us? Let's get rid of this guy. Oh, I was on autopilot, there we go. So what if I say intercept with moment transfer? Oh, it gives me a really big one. That uses pretty much all my fuel. Is that how much we had before? Let's go back and set it up manually. I thought we had a closer approach. All right, now let's try shifting this around. So it says the moon will be back there. So we need to head back there, I guess. Yeah, but Actually, that's not too bad. That's actually really good. I think I'm going to stick with that. So, we can exit the map view. That gives us still another 300 meters per second at delta V. I don't know if that's enough to get into an orbit. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. We have this. This guy's job is to crash into the moon. So, curious at this point, what would it take to get into an orbit? So if I add another maneuver here, if I wanted to get him orbital, that would be 225. We might still have enough fuel on board to do that, and then we can deorbit that guy up here. So this might work out wonderfully. For now, we need to do this maneuver. So it says it's going to be a 12-minute burn. That's totally untrue because our engines wouldn't even burn that long. We are going to use most of this time. I'd say at least 9 minutes of it. So we'll shoot for burning 4.5 minutes early, maybe 4 minutes early. So let's go ahead and warp to where we're going to do that. All right, I'll go ahead and point on my node. I wonder if we just point actually prograde throughout the whole burn. Should sort of average out. Start burning 4.5 minutes in. All right, start the burn. And now we sit and watch. All right, that is really darn close. And looks like we will have enough fuel. Now I'm going to fine tune this with my RCS thrusters. And I'll go ahead and clear out this node. And let's see, clear out this node too. See how close we can get this. The lower the better. Ooh, that looks, that's too close. There we go. 32 kilometers off the surface. Turn off RCS. And still getting closer. I wonder if that's that orbit bug that people are talking about. We'll just boost this up to 100. Turn off RCS. What happens if we time warp? All right, locks in. That's good. So we're 6 days out. Guess we'll just go ahead and warp over there. Now might be a good time to quick save in case something crazy happens. And we can say goodbye to the Earth. This guy will never be near Earth again. Go over here and look for the moon. And it's almost in an eclipse. I think that's it over here. See everything on the ecliptic. Oh wait, no, there's the moon over there. That makes sense because it's going to come across this way through the ecliptic. Different planets along it. Of course, the sun. Check the map, see how close we are to SOI intercept. Oh, that's really close. All right, and still 102. That's plenty. What do you know? We got 6 grand and 6 sites. Just because we are within the or escaped the gravitational influence of the Earth. Not the fact that we got to the moon. I figured it would have said, "Oh, good job getting to the moon," but no, we just changed our SOI. So first things first. Going to go here and add a maneuver and just reduce this enough so we're in orbit. All right. Can actually probably reduce this a little bit more so our orbit isn't as extreme. I want to save some fuel, probably least 50 meters per second. Yeah, we'll do that. That should be plenty. And this will take a day to get to, or almost 2 days, so it's not a crazy long time. So we'll come here and we'll get our first guy into orbit, and then we can actually separate that stage and adjust our orbit. We'll get into a polar orbit. This will be a good mission, assuming we have no failures. So let's go ahead and I'm wondering if we're going to lose connection over there. So what I'm wondering if we should do is use the little flight computer up here. Let's see what happens as we get closer to the moon. Where is the moon? Oh, there it is. All right, in an hour, where's the Earth? Oh, no, we'll be fine. We're passing on the front side of the moon. So we'll definitely be able to see the Earth, so we don't need to use that. That's good, because that thing's kind of wonky, if you ask me anyways. So we'll get closer to our maneuver node. And this one's going to be pretty close to retrograde. So I'll get within like 5 minutes of it. This is only going to be, it says a 40-second burn time, which that's pretty close. So we'll start 20 seconds early. All right, we'll take this time to line up retrograde. We have over a second delay. Now that delay seems to take place like when turning on and off RCS, but not everything seems to be influenced by that delay. Ooh, you know what we didn't do? We're not collecting any science. We should totally be doing this. Transmit that. That's the whole point of this mission, right? Forward. Transmit this. Log. Oh, let's start burning. Transmit this. Transmit. That should be some good science. And a lot of this is biome specific too, so that's the whole point. We're going to try, the whole reason we're going to try to get into a polar orbit is to collect a lot of that science. Alright, there we go. You can see there was no delay whenever I cut off my engines. I don't know why there's no signal delay for that. But we have 78 meters per second at delta V to deorbit ourselves. If we go up here and we add a maneuver node with even just 30, you can see that'll deorbit just fine. So go ahead and clear this out. But we can actually just bump this down a little bit more. I'll say 40 meters per second. There we go. Now that's 13 hours away. Be good to see. Okay, this is space high. I wonder what the space low is, but we'll figure that out. I first just want to ditch that stage. Are we going to lose contact? Nope. Not going to lose contact. Alright. Again, we're going to point retrograde. And we're going to want to drop our perigee to 0. Whoop. not doing a good job of stopping us here. I need to go manually. Start flipping RCS on and off. Alright. Now go prograde. We're gonna go ahead and separate. And it's just not doing a great job of stabilizing itself, but it's alright. So let's circularize ourselves again. Looks like we'll have plenty of delta V, which is good. Alright, that might have been too much. But I want to get into a polar orbit, so we're going to want to do an inclination change. So, what was that? Maneuver planner. And I want an inclination change to 90 degrees. What are we close to? The ascending or descending node? I'm not actually sure. This node would be 600 meters per second. What would this guy do? 2,000. So, looks like it was this one that we wanted. No. It's trying to do it exactly. I just want close. So I want maneuver node here. That's going to point me that way. And I want to reduce my perigee. Maneuver node editor to the rescue. That's pretty close. I can fine tune this later. So I want to point to my maneuver node now. And this is in 35 minutes, so. Oh good, my RCS was off, so I wasn't wasting RCS just spinning around. I'll get within a minute and a half of this guy. Well, not even that much. It's probably only going to take about 40 seconds. Alright, go ahead to point towards my maneuver node, turn on RCS. And it is not doing a good job. Seems to be overcompensating a lot, so I'm actually going to tell this to kill rotation, and I will do it manually. Which is just off. There we go. So one thing I actually could have done with my other thing is just started that maneuver. This would have dropped down plenty. But we didn't. Now I bet if I tell it to point to the node, it'll stay locked in. It's trying, but it's getting off balance, so I'll turn this off again. These really aren't very far away from the center of mass, so I think that's the reason that it's doing that. These run like booms out there, that would help a lot. Inclination's rising. We're going to want to get that close up to 90. 6, 7, 8, 9, go. Close, right. Perigee's pretty high, so I'm going to want to point retrograde. See how far we can drop this down. Let's see if we can get it below 40. Use RCS for that. There we go. Looks pretty good. And now we'll probably see how low we can make this orbit right here. So let's say I wanted to keep 500 meters per second at delta V reserve. Gets us pretty good, but I think for now I'm going to stay in this highly inclined orbit because I want to make sure I get in space high, and I don't remember what the biome cutoff is. we can kind of take a look at this and see though. But I think I'm going to worry about collecting this science next time. Let's go ahead and switch over to this probe and watch it crash so we can at least get the credit for that. See what missions we did get. We did get our lunar orbit, so that's good. That was 84 grand. And we did get our lunar flyby, so that's another almost 50. We do need our lunar impactor. I think we got that as a contract as well. Let's make sure. Active. Yep, lunar impactor. So this guy needs to crash. And that's what this guy's for. So let's switch over to this guy. Switch to the probe. He's got full power because of these little solar panels, but no gas for the engines, which is fine. He's on a collision course into the moon. So let's watch him crash. Maybe we can collect some science on the way down. He does have a connection. Well, not anymore. He might actually regain a connection over here. He'll get closer to this guy. So we'll see. See what science is available for him once he gets a connection. If he gets a connection. I'm guessing he's not going to get one. There's Earth, the pale blue dot. Here's the moon. It's completely dark. You cannot see it. So I guess we will just... I think that's the moon. Yeah. Time warp. Yep, still no connection, so... Now we can sort of see the surface.
What do you know? Catastrophic failure. But that's alright, we got that contract for 70 grand. So let's go ahead and head back to the Space Center. Alright, you can see we have almost 80 science now. That'll be great to unlock some science nodes, but I think we'll worry about doing that in the next episode. Until then, see you next time.